Today, we become legends.
Hey, my name's Inter, and welcome back to the channel for another update video. Today, we have a closed alpha 4 mini patch to go over. There's going to be a bunch of bug fixes, some Baron nerfs, some Herc nerfs, a bunch of good stuff, basically, that we've been kind of waiting on over the weekend after CA4 launched, where some gods just really need some changes, especially Herc and Baron. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right in. So first up, in the bug fixes, teleporters, they are fixed gods seen walking in place or under the map when they use the teleporter. I've seen some clips of this on Twitter, so definitely good for that to be fixed. And fixed HUD navigation not being closable on gamepad. I wouldn't know about that one, but that's good for you console players. Down to Burrow, they have fixed taunting enemies not basic attacking is deployable properly on the 2, and Tanuki Trickery, they have fixed the leaf form not having the movement speed increase for a duration or slow immunity, so that's good as well. Probably a little bit of the reason why Danza feels a little bit weak at the moment in Smite 2. Fenrir, they have also fixed descaling at full runes where it was only 70% at all ranks on Brutalize. Hercules, they have lowered his nameplate, and Driving Strike now has knockback immunity during the dash for Smite 1 parity reasons. Nuar, they have fixed an issue where Clay Soldier basic attacks for proccing items. Thank God, this has been completely destroying the game for quite a while. Really, it's not been that long. It's been like 2 or 3 days, but it's felt like forever because it's basically been a new war in every single game abusing this bug. I did put out a video about it on the channel, and I've got a lot of comments saying that I shouldn't have done that, and yeah, I do kind of agree. In future, if I find these kind of bugs, I'm going to wait until the bug is fixed before I put the video out, because that probably did contribute at least a little bit towards people abusing this bug in regular matches. But yeah, really good that that's fixed, and they've also temporarily decreased the damage of the Clay Soldier dash attack while we're investigating an issue of it damaging for more than intended. So yeah, another bug with Clay Soldiers there. Apparently they're doing more damage than they should be on the initial dash attack. And Chain Lightning, they have corrected the arc from 6x per rank to 5556 per the tooltip. So I guess there's supposed to be only 5 bounces until you get to the max rank, but it was being 6 at all ranks, so that's fixed. Getting into the actual balance though, first up we have some Hercules nerfs, quite a few here, which is good. Hercules has been completely just dominant, arguably the best god in the game outside of this specific Nuar bug, so it definitely needs something. On the passive, they have decreased the strength per stack from 4 to 3 and decreased the strength per level per stack from 1 to 0.5. So yeah, it's going to be 1 off at the base, and then that's going to be 10 off overall at the level 20 equivalent of this passive, which is good. Driving Strike, 2 seconds. Earthbreaker, 2 seconds. You do want to keep these on the same cooldown, so this definitely makes sense. Just his overall 2-1 combo is just going to be hitting you way less often. And that's definitely good. With the amount of cooldown rate that was in the game at the moment, these were easily getting down to like 6 or 7 seconds. And at that point, like, what on earth do you do to deal with it when bees are on such a low cooldown? Such a long cooldown, sorry, not low cooldown. And this was one of the major issues with Hercules, in my opinion, just how often he was getting these 2 cooldowns out. You could just CC you like pretty much forever, and there was very little ways of getting away, especially if you didn't have a dash. And then finally, Excavate, they have decreased the damage from 300 to 800. It's now going to be 280 to 760. So not really too much off of the ult damage. It's still going to be chunking you pretty hard, but these are the main nerfs up here. This is nice as well, but these 2 nerfs to his 1 and 2 are really big. Will he still be strong? Absolutely. I think maybe CA5 could look at Hercules again, or maybe even another bonus balance. These nerfs probably won't be enough just on how like strictly dominant he is. These are big nerfs, but Hercules has just been absolutely destroying everyone in Smite 2, so I don't think these will be enough to bring him down. But it's definitely a good start, and will hopefully take a little bit off the top to where he's not just completely uncontested the best god in the game by a mile. Speaking of one of the best gods in the game though, Baron Samedi is also getting some nerfs in this patch, which is good. He's been nerfed already, but he's definitely still way overtuned. So Vivid Gaze, they have decreased the power reduction from 30% to 20%, decreased the attack speed reduction by the same amount, and increased the cooldown by 2 seconds from 9 to 11. So that's definitely a really big one. This ability was just up so often with CDR. You could get to like a 4 or 5 second cooldown. It was kind of insane, and I'm not sure how long the reduction lasts, but it probably is somewhere around like 3, 4, 5 seconds. So you can pretty much permanently be attack speed and power decreasing people with this ability, and it was kind of silly. So the cooldown increase is really good there. On his 2, they have decreased the percent missing health heal scaling from 20% CDR to 15% of your CDR. So this is good as well. This is another one of the main reasons why Baron is just so ridiculous. If he's low on health and has a maximum CDR build like you would often go for with him, you know, where you've got like Chronos Pendant and Cosmic Horror and Gemma Focus all in this one build, and you have like almost 100 cooldown rate. It was just scaling far too much with this, and he was healing like 40% of his health if he was low. So this is definitely a really good change. Could maybe even go down to 10%. I don't want them to remove this entirely. I think it's a cool mechanic, but yeah, you don't really want this just healing half of his health every time you cast it. It becomes impossible to kill. And wrap it up, they have decreased the Mesmerize duration from 2.25 to 1.5 seconds. This is right at the end of Wrap It Up. If they have max hysteria or above the hysteria threshold, it's going to mez everyone in the area, so they've just decreased the duration of that. So yeah, overall, some pretty good Baron nerfs. I would say similar to Hercules. I don't think this is going to completely take Baron off of the map, but I don't think Baron was as strong as Hercules was on CA4. So these will be pretty impactful. Will he still be the second best god in the game? Maybe, but definitely some good nerfs overall for Baron there. Neath, World Weaver, they have decreased the damage scaling from 115 strength 100 int to 105 strength 90 int. So this is good. World Weaver is absolutely chunking. Neath with the double stacking, like intelligence strength, like hybrid, mostly intelligence build. This thing just absolutely deletes people. So yeah, definitely good to see the damage on that come down a little bit. Fenrir also been very strong. A little bit flies under the radar, I feel like, especially in random ranked and casuals. But in the Pro League, Fenrir has an insanely high pick ban rate, only contested by Baron, and probably would be contested by Herc if he was available in the Pro League. So yeah, Fenrir definitely needs to be looked at. They have increased the cooldown of his ultimate from 100 to 110 seconds, and also increased the mana cost to 100 at all ranks as opposed to 50 to 70. So the mana cost thing, it's not really going to matter all too much, but yeah, the cooldown going up by 10 seconds is pretty good on Ragnarok. I do feel like they should just add the delay that Smite 1 has on this ability to it as well, though. Like, it feels really bad that he can just instantly bite you like the frame he presses the ability instead of having to wait for him to like fully grow big. It feels kind of bad to play into. But yeah, also as more gods get added that can counter Fenrir with instant CC or with jumps, Fenrir will just overall like slowly come down. It's just a lot of the gods in the game right now don't have a way to stop Brutalize and don't have a way to jump away from Brutalize. I also saw someone suggest, I think it might have been inbound in the Ambassador Discord, that they should probably make Fenrir slowed a little bit while he's carrying someone, and I think I do agree with that, just so you can't carry them quite as far. You know, just make him like move at like 70% movement speed or something while he's carrying someone. That would probably be a good change as well, because a lot of the problems with Fenrir right now are coming from this ultimate. And finally, Bacchus, Belch of the Gods, they have increased the cooldown from 10 at all ranks. It's now 13 down to 11, so that's a pretty big change. You know, in the early ranks, if you're ranking belly flop first, which a lot of people do, this is going to be on a 13-second cooldown versus 10 for quite a long time. And then even in the late game, you're going to have 1 extra second on this ability. And Bacchus, he's just putting out so much CC at the moment, it's kind of insane, so this is definitely a good change. Moving into some item balance though, we have some CDR nerfs up first. So Ring of Dispel, this is what builds into a lot of the CDR items. They have decreased it from 15 CDR to 10. The tier 1 version as well, they have decreased the CDR from 8 to 5. Breastplate of Valor, they have decreased the physical prots by 5 and increased the passive threshold to get that CDR from 350 plus 20 per level. It's now going to be 400 plus 20 per level. So Breastplate is still going to be strong. It still has 25 base CDR on it. It's still going to be a really good item, but yeah, just taking a little bit off the top of some of like the other things that it gives you, especially, you know, the CDR from the passive threshold. Genji's Guard, they have decreased the magical protection by 10 as well. Genji's Guard sort of like almost the Breastplate of Valor equivalent for magical defense. That gives you a lot of burst CDR and a lot of CDR in general. Very popular item for solo laners and even some supports sometimes if you just want to max out that CDR. Cosmic Horror, they have decreased the int from 100 to 85. This also makes sense. Cosmic Horror has been one of the most popular like mid lane mage items in the game basically since the game's inception, honestly. It's just a really efficient stat stick. You're easily going to hit the 300 int threshold to be able to get the cooldown rate, and once you do get that, it's like a really efficient item for the amount of int and cooldown rate that it gives you. And because it gives such high cooldown rate, I think it makes sense to nerf this int down a little bit. You know, it's not going to give you like, because 100 int is extremely competitive. That is on like the upper end of most int items. And does it really need to be when the item has so much cooldown rate? I don't think so. So I think this is good, taking 15 int off the top. And finally, we have Chronos Pendant, which they have increased the cost from 2400 to 2500. So yeah, another CDR item that they've just nerfed in other areas than the CDR. Obviously, in one of the CA3 bonus balance updates, they did nerf CDR across the board in the game, taking a lot of the 30 cooldown rate items down to 25 and taking a lot of the 20 cooldown rate items down to 15. But yeah, in this patch, they're mainly just sort of looking at like the tier 2s and tier 1s, and then also just taking some of the extra stuff that these CDR items do for you off of the top, rather than nerfing the CDR on them, which I think is good, actually. You know, these items, they still have incredibly high cooldown rate if you do want to go for that kind of a build where you're getting up to like 50-60% cooldown reduction equivalent to Smite 1. You can still do that, but you're going to have a little bit more of an opportunity cost. You know, the item's going to be more expensive, it's going to give you less in, it's going to give you less prots or whatever. So yeah, CDR still needs to be looked at very carefully. It's still very strong in the game. It's still definitely the best way to build for most characters that aren't ADCs. But yeah, I think these are good nerfs overall, and especially the Baron and Herc nerfs were definitely needed. The new bug fix is going to be a godsend. Thank God we don't have to deal with that anymore. So yeah, overall, really good patch. Excited to play on this. And as with all these patches, they should be live right now. As soon as they release the notes for these patches, they should be live in game. And hopefully you enjoyed me keeping you updated on these little mini patches as well, because they do change the game quite a bit. I will catch you guys for another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.